Again, of course, we all know there's a seaport in Pakistan, one in Sri Lanka being built, and in some say in Myanmar, also in Burma, attempts are made. So with the invasion of Tibet, the China or their presence have come very, very close. So in that sense, interest of Tibet is also, one would make an argument that also in interest of India as well. But someone who was born and brought up here and who is so grateful to India and Indian people, we can't request more. But what we can do is create awareness. So this is what is happening. When Chinese army first came to Tibet, they promised socialist paradise. They said, we'll build you roads. Then development will come. Tibetan will prosper. In fact, Tibetans helped them build roads. Once the roads were built, the roads start going straight to the pristine forest of Tibet, to the natural rich mountains of Tibet, and the exploitation continued even today. So this is the reality, and the political suppression, economic marginalization, cultural assimilation, making Tibetans into Chinese, is going on, and environmental destruction. As you all might know, Tibet has the 10 major rivers of Asia flow from Tibet. Brahmaputra, Indus, Yellow River, Mekong, Yangtze, all starts from Tibet. One could make an argument that water from Tibet feed about 47% of the world population. India, China, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and the Mekong River flows all the way to Thailand, Vietnam. And Tibet also has the third largest reserve of ice after Antarctica and Arctic. It's called the third pole. So the environment of Tibet is very, very important for Asia, not just South Asia, but whole Asia. And the third largest ice is also very relevant and important for the global warming and climate change. Some scientists argue that jet stream that is above Tibet affects the weather all the way to Peru in South America. So that way, Tibet, from environment point of view, is very important. Security point of view, very important. And politically also quite important, given the great game that was fought in Central Asia with Afghanistan, Xinjiang, Tibet, even continues even today. So in that sense, Tibet has major relevance for the people in the world. Now, to regain our freedom, we have established a Tibetan administration in Dharamsala under the leadership of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It started in 1959 with the establishment of the Tibetan Parliament, and the Parliament was further expanded in 1991. And we also had a constitution in 1963 based on or modeled after the Indian Constitution. And 1991 on, we have a charter based on which what the administration we have in Dharamsala runs like any other government. We have a foreign relations, and which has about 12 semi-embassies, which call it offices of Tibet around the world, from New York to Australia to Geneva. Now, since 2008, Chinese government has made tremendous effort in the border areas, and especially Nepal, to prevent Tibetans from fleeing to India. Now, when we say fleeing, they're literally fleeing, crossing the mountains, Himalayan mountains. They're not taking Air India and flying over, literally in cold winter. The fact that thousands, now hundreds, continue to flee Tibet is a clear indication that Tibetans are not content with the situation inside Tibet. Otherwise, why would anyone leave their family, leave their parents, leave their friends, and come to India? In Tibet, at least technically, they are citizens of China. When they come to India, they become refugees. But still they come. because the basic freedom that human beings ought to have, Tibetans are denied. And our culture is being threatened. So that's why every year Tibetans come to India and get the education which the Tibetan administration provide. So to make the administration more democratic, His Holiness the Dalai Lama introduced democracy since 1960s. The parliament election since 2001. Some of you know Samdho Rinpoche was elected the Kaluntripa. But this year, Samdho Rinpoche completed his 2 terms, then I got elected. Now, if I lighten your mood, I think we tried our best to have the election, even though it was competitive, a bit of a maybe Buddhist kind of democracy. For example, of the final 3 candidates, we had a debate in Dharamsala. The next day there was another debate in Delhi. So we had to take taxi from Dharamsala to Delhi. So what we did was, me and the other candidate, 2 of us were debating. We took the same taxi, drove 13 hours to Delhi. Then we reached very late in Delhi. So we knocked around and we found one hotel which had only 2 rooms. So one room was shared by the organizers, and other room was shared by me and the other candidate. So we got up tomorrow morning, we had breakfast together, then we had a good debate, then we had lunch together, and we said goodbye to each other. Then we met in some other places, actually, the 3rd candidate. So we call each other from time to time during election, we give each other camping tips. When you go to that refugee camp, you should take that route, this kind of taxi, and don't meet these people, So it was a friendly Buddhistic kind of a competition. So we were friends before the election, and during the election, and after the election. I regard them as my friends. I hope they do the same, because it's easy for me to say. Pardon?
Tell that to Rajya Sabha today.
Well, I'm telling you, hopefully you'll convey it. No. Again, it just, beginning, this is, again, as I said, the Tibetan democracy was modeled after Indian democracy. Our constitution is very much Indian, and our parliament also functions like Indian parliament in the sense we have winter session in March, where we discuss budget, and the summer session, the fall session in September, we discuss all administrative political matters. So to the best we could, we are trying to have a little bit of Tibetan kind of Buddhist element to it, and at least this time, that's how we ran the election. Hopefully we'll continue to maintain it. Next time when I come to Bhopal after 5 years, I hope I will be able to say we shared taxi together and we shared hotel room, and hopefully we will try to do that. And the responsibility now is on me, because when His Holiness the Dalai Lama finally decided to devolve all his political power, that means the 400 years old institution of Dalai Lama separated its political authority from the spiritual authority. That, I think, is quite magnanimous in the context of the Arab Spring, where you see leaders holding on to power and killing their own people. And we have a leader who said, I don't want political power, people should take responsibilities. And Tibetan people protested all over the world, not protested, at least appealed against His Holiness' wishes, but he was stubborn. And he said, nothing doing, I'm giving up political power, because he said this will be in the best interest of the Tibetan people in the long run. But you guys simply cannot rely on me as an individual. I can't take this movement, forever. So we have built democratic institution, we are investing in it, and now Tibetan people have to stand up, take the responsibility, ownership of the Tibetan movement, and move forward.